Good morning, everyone. So, a little history for many of you who don't know. September 13th, 1996 is the day that Tupac Shakur actually died from the gunshot wounds he had suffered, I believe, on September 7th. So he lasted about 6 days in the hospital before actually passing away. There were multiple surgeries that took place. I believe they had to take a lung and some other things, and it was just too much. That was a Friday. Very ominous, a Friday the 13th, if I have that right. The following Monday, I was at work and listening to a popular morning radio show with a guy by the name of Bruce Kelly at the time, and he was a huge radio personality for morning shows at the time. And he gets on and he's talking about how Tupac died, and then in the most, I just call it egregious act, he starts in this very stupid, like, mocking voice singing the Bone Thugs and Harmony song "See You at the Crossroads," which is about death. And he's all, "See you at the crossroads," and something just clicked in me, and everything was divine. I was at work. I walked into my supervisor's office. I picked up his phone and I dialed the radio station, and it rang. And it rang. And it rang. And they picked up. And I said, "Let me talk to Bruce." "Hold on a sec." Bruce picks up, and I can hear in my headphone that I'm live on the radio. And to paraphrase myself, I just told him, like, what nerve you have to mock a man's death while he still has living family members, regardless of what we think of Tupac. That's not how we should ever look at the death of somebody, in a mocking tone. Tupac did and said a lot of things, absolutely. I don't care. His survivors didn't. And Bruce's co-host at the time, a lady, tried to jump in. I told her, "Look, stay in your lane, basically. Like, this doesn't concern you." And I said, "You make money, ratings, off of playing this music, and then you have the nerve to mock it when it suits your cause." And I said a few other things, nothing profane laced. And that was the root of the success once I got on the air, was that it wasn't profanity laced. It was thought out, it was calculated, and it demanded an actual answer. And he didn't have one. And there was a small exchange, but it was nothing. And then at the end, being the attempted charming guy that he always was on the air, he said, "Do you still love me?" But by that time, I had hung up the phone and was walking out of my supervisor's office, and I heard it. I heard it on my headphones. He said, "Do you still love me?" And the dial tone started right off of that. It was beautiful. It was perfect. Like I said, it was divine. The universe allowed me to be the messenger to tell the world that this is not okay. That was the message. This is not okay. I don't care what Tupac did and said. This was an extremely young man who had, he was a very complicated person. He had a lot of deep thoughts that were fantastic, that were world-changing, that he could have gone on to do great things with. And then he had the part that he needed to outgrow. He needed the demographic that he needed to escape. That said, it's still not okay. And to this day, it's one of my proudest moments to have spoken my voice, to have taken a message that really was just driven through me and needed to be said to the masses. And it was said on the largest platform Phoenix had in the morning at that time, bar none. whether you choose to recognize this is a day, you know, for Tupac or not, it's the lesser of the things. What should carry on with a legacy such as his and the way it ended is that it's not okay to mock it. It's not okay, because again, when people have survivors, they didn't ask for what that person may have done. Whether we see drug overdoses, just people being reckless, any of that stuff, the families, the survivors don't deserve it. Do better. Do better. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know if there's such a thing as a Flashback Monday or Monday throwback or anything else, but it needed to be said. And I actually have, I think, a write-up as well from before as well, so I'll post that with this. But guys, we just got to do better. Peace, love, unity, solidarity. Oh, and for those who don't know, the tattoo across his stomach, Thug Life, is said to stand for the hate you give little infants F's everyone.